Good morning and welcome to Today in L.A. We're speaking to you from a hollow tube on South Brundage Street in Troy, Alabama. But it's all today. And, of course, my guy to my left is Bill Rice Jr., and to my far left is Forrest Lee, and we're ready to go on a Tuesday, the 11th day of May, and we're moving right on. God, I can't believe this year. It's really
it's flying
fast.
School's almost out.
That's right.
It's out for Troy University students.
Oh, yeah, they've been out since Friday, and they had a big, they said I think I want to say 789 or something they graduated. That's a record in one place, so that was a real big gathering. And
well, we want more to replace them, don't we? You see all these apartment complexes going up and down around town?
Oh, yeah. Somebody knows something.
That's what I'm thinking, too. They must know something.
I tell you, and they're real nice apartments too, and I'm excited about all this growth in Troy and Pike County. And
think about the people that are building those apartments. All you see is lumber, the framing of the apartments, and I've just read that the price of lumber has gone through the roof. Excuse the pun.
Everything is going. Now, gas right now, I paid. Right at $3.70 a gallon. What did you do yesterday?
$2.65 or $2.70, anywhere between $2.65 and $2.75. Now I don't get premium. You must get premium.
No, I do get premium on one car, but not the other. And I tell my wife, we could save a lot of money, but she goes by the book. No, but of course. The gas prices are way up, and I said some 370. It was out in California that right now it's 4.13, something like that.
I've heard in some places in California it's pushing $5 a gallon.
Boy,
and in California, you've got to drive a lot. Everybody drives a long way in those highways, so that takes a lot of your discretionary money to fill your tank up every week.
They say Bryce Young is
from California. He ain't paying. He's paying Tuscaloosa prices, not those California prices.
And they're saying here that they're not even going to look back. That Bryce Young is the quarterback at Alabama, and have had a great recruiting year, and for the next 6 years, or the next 3 years, Bryce Young is going to be the quarterback at Alabama.
Well, if he's as good as they say, it might be 2 years, because he'll be like Tua, leaving after his junior year.
I don't. For some reason, he's not even 6 feet tall, is he?
Mm-mm.
And I think he's a college quarterback right now. And there's a difference, a college quarterback and a pro quarterback.
You used to say that, but now you see a lot of quarterbacks that are 6 foot or under.
Well,
Russell
Wilson is the best example, and probably almost the only example.
Baker Mayfield.
How tall is Mayfield?
He's not.
Drew Brees.
Oh, that quarterback for the St. Louis Cardinals is shorter than Bryce Young. I guarantee that was the Heisman Trophy winner from Oklahoma.
But it's
So apparently you don't need the 6'4", 6'5" guy anymore. Which is kind of strange, isn't it, throwing over those big linemen?
Well, he'll open up against Miami, then he'll play Mercer, then Florida. There's your test.
That's what we
2 out of 3.
He better get.
Miami's got a lot of transfers that rolled into town.
Who doesn't have a lot of transfers that have rolled into town?
Hey, it looks like Alabama can beat you going with the Roos and can beat you going against the Roos.
Saban was well ahead of everybody else, saying that be careful what you wish for with this transfers. He said the people that are gonna benefit are the rich. The rich are gonna get richer. He said the Alabamas of the world are gonna benefit, because they can reach down into these other programs that don't have good teams and take their best players. Those players want to come to the good teams. They're probably going to want to come even more with this name, image, and likeness deal where you can get money by playing college football.
That's the next thing.
It seems to me that if you want to make money as a college football player, you want to go somewhere that has the most interest in your program, and that's the Alabamas and LSUs and Georgias and Auburns of the world. So in other words, that don't bode well for the Troys and UABs of the world.
Bring him on in. Bring him on in. Mike Amos coming in by way of the Zoom, and he'll be showing up on the screen in just a few moments. Of course, we appreciate.
I'm in the Northwest Florida studios down here in Great Beach,
studios
Florida.
in Great Beach, Florida. Yeah.
Overcast day down here, but looks like the summer's already started, man. Tennessee down here.
They've already gotten out of school, evidently, in Tennessee.
Looks that way.
Well, is it fun? Y'all having fun? When do you stop having to send your kids to school?
The last day is the
What?
26th of May.
Okay, that's still a few days from here.
Yeah, we got it about almost 3 more weeks.
About the same as my kids. We've got Jack in pre-K. You know, you got to pay for pre-K at Troy Elementary School.
You do?
Yeah.
How much is that a month?
$115 a week.
Surely, if your wife's a teacher, she doesn't have to pay, does she?
Yep.
Golly.
I know that would have been nice. But next year I'm gonna get a big pay raise because Jack will be in kindergarten at Troy Elementary School, and that costs $0 a week. So it looks like little Bill's gonna get a $460 a month pay raise on child care. I'll take it.
Put some meat between the bread now.
Yeah. Of course, we're doing well up here, Mike. I think we can expect a little rain today. What is the temperature for us?
I have no idea.
What does it look like? We're gonna have rain or what? What did the groundhog say?
Well, that's important because we got the Sun Belt Conference softball tournament.
Right now it's 70 degrees. It's supposed to start raining at 2 o'clock today, 50% chance. Until 4 o'clock it's 70%, 5 o'clock 70%, 6 p.m. 70%, 7 p.m. 70%, and then tonight it looks like it's going to get worse, 80% the rest of the night.
Was it down? Is that down there or up here?
No, that's in Troy, Alabama.
Oh boy.
Well, maybe they can get in 2 games of this tournament.
Well, today.
Yeah.
Today,
look at that. That's one thing about the Auburn quarterback. Look at those legs. Boy, how he got some legs on him, doesn't he?
Bo Nix?
Yeah. Bo Nix might fool I don't think he had a good year last year, or I think it was so-so year. But if Bo Nix could come in and have a great year, and running back, what's his name? Bigsby. Yeah, Bigsby could have a big day. This new coach at Auburn could be look at a bunch of shiny faces around.
When you least expect Auburn to have a great year is when they have a great year. They've done it several times, just out of the blue, go undefeated or compete for a national championship. Terry Bowden did it.
Yeah.
Was that his first year?
Gus Malzahn played for a national championship his first year.
Yeah. So
here we go.
This is the first year of the new coach. Auburn's under the radar. That's usually when Auburn's dangerous. We'll see.
Well, give us a report today.
You look at Malzahn's career at Auburn. If he won the national championship that first year, which he was seconds away until the great Jameis Winston hit Kelvin Benjamin for that touchdown and broke everybody in Auburn and Auburn fans throughout the country's heart. I mean, how do you look at Malzahn then? Does he go down as one of the greatest coaches in Auburn history?
Well, I also think that would have been Auburn's second national championship in about, 4 or 5 years? That's it.
No, only a couple years. That was 2013. They won the national championship in 2010.
Yeah. Mike, I want to get a report from Forrest Lee this morning. What is our local report?
Well, today in that Sun Belt Conference Championship on the campus of Troy University at 10 o'clock, Coastal Carolina will be playing the University of Louisiana Monroe. The winner of that game will play number 1 seeded Louisiana tomorrow at 10.
Right. Is that almost like what you could? These are battle of two of the worst teams, or what?
Right. The loser is automatically out of the tournament, and then the tournament goes to a double elimination after today's game. And the second game today at this, I believe it says 1 o'clock. Georgia Southern will play Georgia State. Georgia Southern versus Georgia State. The winner will take on Texas State tomorrow. And Troy University will play the University of Texas Arlington tomorrow around 2 o'clock. So Troy plays the third game tomorrow. Troy University will play the University of Texas Arlington. And good luck to the Lady Trojans. And
well, the hotels are full, and I hope that they can get tables and food served to them at the restaurants with this labor shortage that we talked about yesterday. You know,
apparently, Troy's got a gas shortage. You can only get $25 at the gas pumps.
And hey, we got a $300 deal coming down the pipe. $300. What is $300 going to do for these folks? Not much. Is that $300 a week? I believe it might be a week. Is that right?
I think they're going to stop doing all this stimulus because you know what we're seeing now is massive inflation. That's the result of all this money they've been printing and throwing out to everybody. Businesses, states, individuals, families, and you know, continuing the unemployment at high levels. So that's why these workers don't want to go work. So the employers is the restaurant to get these workers back. They're going to have to double their salary or pay them a lot more. And so the price of your Big Mac or what you're buying at the restaurant is going to be going up to cover these big increases in salaries, which is going to make inflation go even higher. Once it starts going, it picks up momentum. And that's where the real fear is hyperinflation, where it starts to double, you know, every couple of weeks or months or boy, if that happens, watch out.
Okay, continue, my good friend.
all right, let's see. In
Don't
baseball,
you like my little inflation lecture?
I want to get into something that we all know about.
Yeah, Troy University will host Alabama State tonight at 6 o'clock. Troy's 24-21 on the season, 10-8 overall. This weekend we host Arkansas State in a 3-game series, and then we'll end our regular season at the Louisiana Lafayette, and that will be next week on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And they're getting ready for the Sun Belt Conference tournament that will be held in Montgomery at Riverwalk Stadium. That's going to be Tuesday, May 25th through Sunday, May the 30th. And speaking of Riverwalk, the Montgomery Biscuits open up season play, their home stand tonight versus, I believe it's the
Chattanooga
Lookouts at 6:35, and they'll play Tuesday through Sunday. Then they'll be off next Monday, and then they'll travel.
No, I'm thinking about Auburn's. How close they were to winning 2 national championships in 4 years. Auburn had terrible luck. That game that we were talking about, Gus Malzahn's first year, Auburn had every chance to win that game. And then think about it, Auburn was poised to make the playoffs and win another national championship when they played a rematch with Georgia in the SEC championship game, and they laid an egg inexplicably. But that was another year that, you know, Auburn could have been in the running for a national championship. And I'm also thinking about their poor basketball team that, they had that game won over, who was it, Kansas?
No. It was Virginia.
Virginia, thank you. I don't know how they lost it. I mean, it's just a heartbreaker city, and I'm an Alabama fan. And if they would have won that game, they probably would have won a national championship in basketball.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, what happened in that Georgia game, in the SEC championship, is Alabama had broken Kerryon Johnson's ribs.
Put it up a little bit.
And Carolyn Johnson won the same running back in that SEC championship game.
And also, I think Auburn they'd played so many big games. They beat Alabama in some big game, then they beat Georgia impressively, and I think they just mentally and emotionally also ran out of gas.
All right. Let's let him. He's going to be out of here in a minute.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this is some more high school baseball in the Alabama High School Athletic Association. This week, Bayshore Academy out of Fairhope will come play Brantley.
And Bayshore has been really good, and Brantley is really good. That's going to be a great series.
And the winner will play either Summerton Christian or Donahoe in the state championship game. G.W. Long at Ayrton, Battle of Dale County. The winner will play Mars Hill Bible or Westbrook Christian. And these are best 2 out of 3.
You don't want to have to play Mars Hill. They've won this thing a bunch of times.
Yep. And St. Paul's will come to Pike Road versus Allen Ponder. And that winner will play Madison Academy or Russellville.
You're talking about a great game. That should be a good one between Pike Road and.
Most of these games are scheduled for Thursday and Friday, and the weather may push it to the weekend.
Is that
some.
played at Pike Road?
At Pike Road.
Oh boy, that's a chance.
And
go there and watch that, man.
I ride by there every time, but I don't see a baseball field.
I know. Where did they play baseball?
I'm not sure where they play. At Pike Liberal Arts in the morning at 10 o'clock at Patterson Field will take on Bessemer for the state AISA championship. They'll play a doubleheader. If a game 3 is needed, they'll play on Thursday morning at 11 o'clock. So good luck to the Patriots of Pike Liberal Arts.
And that's at 10 o'clock in the morning.
That's at 10 o'clock in the morning. And in softball, these are the teams. The regionals are held in Gulf Shores, Montgomery, Tuscaloosa, and Florence. And the winners of these regional games will play for the state championship next week in Oxford. This is the Alabama High School Athletic Association softball championships.
Now, who
These
do we
are the
have
regionals.
of interest?
We have Enterprise and Dothan are playing in Tuscaloosa this Friday. In 6A, Eufaula will be playing at Gulf Shores. In 5A, we have Carroll Vozark, Charles Henderson, Andalusia and Rehoboth will be playing in Gulf Shores. Charles Henderson will be playing Faith Academy.
Boy,
Tomorrow at noon. These games are tomorrow.
You know, I have never seen so many games all that lead up to the championship.
Yeah, this is one of Charles Henderson's best years, and you know, Andalusia was the region champion, and they lost to, or the area champion. They lost to them by 1 run in each game. So the Lady Trojans are
pretty good.
gelling real good.
This girl that is now the coach at Charles Henson's done a good job.
Her name's Khadijah Neely, and she played at Troy University. And you know, I saw a post where the girls are super excited. They're just it's been a change for them, and they're real excited about what they're doing this year.
She's a friend of my wife. She teaches in the English department too. In Charleston.
In 3A softball. At Gulf Shores, New Brockton, Opp, and Houston Academy are in the regionals. In 2A, in Gulf Shores, Ayrton, Geneva County, and G.W. Long. Luverne and Highland Home have to travel to Tuscaloosa to play in that regional. And in 1A, Kinston will be playing at Gulf Shores, and the Lady Bulldogs of Brantley will be playing Fruitdale tomorrow.
Fruitdale.
At
boy, you
1:45.
better get ready if you got to play Fruitdale.
So most of these games are going to be Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Yeah. And good luck to all our local baseball teams, all our local.
What do we call Brantley Titletown?
Yeah, Titletown. Yeah.
Well, when did they won most of their titles in?
When's the last time they won a title, though? It's been a while.
Yeah. You know what? They're good boys and they're good girls. I'll tell you that right now.
But you know,
want to mention something. All right, have you got any more?
Oh,
right
that's about all.
I want to mention last night I was downtown. I had to go downtown to Birds, and I was had to park all the way on the other side of the square, and they were having a parade for the championship cheerleaders. And you know, you know, I reckon it makes it makes it sort of hard to realize that they don't call on you anymore. Years ago, I would have been one of the first people they called about doing the parade from downtown Troy. I don't know who did the parade, but I'm sure it was done well.
Good for them. Those cheerleaders.
Which I am glad to know that there's people that'll do it. You know, it was they had a pretty big parade.
Well, I've got to leave the set. Jody's having a hard time finding her glasses.
Well,
I got to go help her
you
find her
take
glasses.
care, my friend. You take care.
Well, I'm gonna
We'll
leave.
be back in just a moment.
They might not have heard you. There you go. I'm just going to leave this.
This is my chart from Southeast Health.
And you're going to want to make it yours. Not because it's free,
But because it's priceless. Because with my chart, you can schedule appointments online with your provider.
you can email your provider and get answers.
Have a virtual visit.
Get test results.
Refill prescriptions.
And manage your family's health care.
You know how we all want healthcare to be easier?
But no one seems to listen.
Well, someone did.
Southeast Health.
To get your free My Chart app,
Visit your app store or go to southeasthealth.org.
When something's just right, it's more than a good fit. It's that perfect feeling. And at Badcock Home Furniture and More, that means just for you comfort. Find styles that move you at Badcock's Motion and More sale. Featuring new recliner sets like our remarkable Duke collection or our selection of Lazy Boy recliners. All with no credit refused. So shop what's just right at your local Badcock in Elba and Enterprise. Badcock Home Furniture and More. Just right.
Barney, what are you doing?
You've been looking for a sale. I'm going to give you one. We got one open.
Barney, it's not a jail sale. It's called a car sale. You know, 0% financing for 72 months. Discounts over $15,000.
Killing the competition.
$5,000 over Kelly Blue Book for any old trade. Hey, and it's not illegal to kill the
That's
competition.
another charge.
Folks, just go to PremierTroy.com. That's where you'll find all the deals. I'll see you soon.
No, you ain't. You're going to be in jail.
Barney!
Nobody beats a Premier deal.
Nobody!
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
I wish I probably back to our show brought to you by Cinco Drugs on the corner in downtown Troy, and it's been there forever, that building, and it's had a drugstore there. I remember old Bird Walters was one of the
Was it Bird Waters or Bird Walters?
I want to say Waters. I want to say that somebody can
That's
call
where
in.
the teenage canteen was on.
That's
the
right.
second floor, wasn't it?
That's when I used to outside. I would look up there and I'd see all those guys, Bill Rice and Tom Murphy and
Marsha Chapman and
yeah, that's right. I used to. I mean,
Bitsy Murphy and
yeah, I can remember seeing them up there. Of course, I was just a little kid, but I remember that being a teenage canteen, and it was a good one. But now I always wonder this: how in the world do we keep from somebody jumping or falling off that second-story window?
I grew up hearing stories of nostalgia of happy times at the teenage canteen. I kind of envious that they had that gathering place.
Oh yeah.
Because when I was in high school, we didn't have one. Michael, what about? I mean, we would go out for
Walmart parking lot. We had Hardy's parking lot. That's where everybody, or maybe the bank over there.
Well, you know, and actually the recreation department paid for that space up there, and of course, you know, later on they moved down to your Pawpaw's place, Roy Crow's place, that shell place, and it was a nice place upstairs, but it didn't last very long, and before they just shut it down. But
we had
Troy. It was rare that Troy had an actual teen museum. I mean, teen canteen.
So what would I mean? I guess they could get soda pops and dance and just talk and.
Yeah, they could, and you know, they had pool tables, and they had another, you know, they had pool tables and
Ping pong table?
Ping pong and some other things.
Probably did have ping. My dad was really good at ping pong. He must have learned to play somewhere. I was really good at ping pong. You know who was good at ping pong?
Who?
People that have a ping pong table. And we had one in Opelika in the basement.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, the one that was good in my age group was Jackie Jackson, and of course he was good at all kinds of games like that. But he was really good ping pong player.
The only two people
he make it where that ball moved. Look, that ball
spin
moved.
on it. Yeah. I couldn't do that much. The two people that could compete with me and beat me as much as I could beat them were Scott Rainey, who had a ping pong table, and Chuck Norris. You know,
Big Chuck Norris.
Yeah, he had a ping pong table, and he was really good.
Chuck Norris ever get made fun of because his name was Chuck Norris?
You know, I think that was before Chuck Norris became famous. Chuck went by the nickname 12, which was short for the 12 Tower. Remember the big, tall TV tower? Chuck was about 6'6", 180 pounds.
Yeah.
And who gave him his nickname? Tim Archer, Coach Archer's son.
Oh, did he?
But Tim gave everybody in Troy their nickname. He had a talent for coming up with nicknames for people.
How tall did Chuck finally get?
Probably 6'6".
He looked taller than that, you know.
He was a good basketball player.
I knew him when he was a young kid, you know, and he was cute little old boy.
He's great. He lives in Montgomery, and
yeah. I want to take time to talk about a friend of mine. We lost just this past week, and he meant a lot to me. You know, you lose a friend, and you know, that grew up behind you a little bit, and he sort of looked up to you, you know. But Tommy Arrington was his name, and Tommy was a very good friend of mine, and you know, he put down as his three best friends. One of them was Mantle Johnson.
Yeah, okay.
And the other one is Al Head.
Wow, two good
friends. They grew up together, and they did, and all the way up until this last year, they took their vacations together, and they went to the beach, and their kids grew up with each other. And
they stayed close.
You're right. They stay close. Like a lot of us need to do is to stay close to our friends. You know, you don't have too many best friends. You know what I mean? Best friends. And, you know,
isn't it funny when you have those best friends and you haven't seen each other for years, when you see each other, you just pick it up right where you were?
You're exactly right. One of my very best friends, and he is a dear friend today, Jack Morrison, Jack Mosley. He was named here in Troy, but Jack Morrison lives out in Waco, Texas, and has a farm out there. And he and I talk about 2 or 3 times a week. And he and I were best friends. And you know, how many best friends do you have? You know,
was his name Jack Mosley or Jack Morrison?
No, well, his real name was Jack Morrison. He for some reason went by not Jack Mosley when he lived in Troy, but his real name is Jack Morrison. And he's a great guy, and of course he was a pilot.
Was he trying to be an actor or something? Change his name?
No, but I tell you what, if I needed somebody in my dugout, he'd be one of them. I tell you.
You know, I can't remember all your friends in your life. I don't know if I've ever met him ever before.
I know. Well, he had 2 boys. One of them's name was Lang, and the other name was Lang and. Oh gosh, I'm having trouble with it.
Yang.
Did they ever come to Troy much?
Yeah, they came a few times. They lived out in Texas. And he worked for. Let me just say this: he was had a very good position with.
I interviewed somebody for the Galt story that you know, Mike, that lives in Texas now. Is it Jack Bryan or?
Probably
Brian Johnson or?
No, that's not it.
His daddy was the publisher of the Troy Messenger.
Byron Lee. No, not Byron Lee, but Byron. His first name was Byron, and.
Well, he is a professor at the University of Texas. a bigwig in their Department of Political Science, and before that he taught at the University of Washington. He's apparently done real well in the academic. He's written several books, and I had a lot in common with him. He's about your age, grew up in Troy, and his daddy was the boss of the Troy Messenger for years.
He was 3 years older than me. He was my brother-in-law in my brother's class, Joel Amos and Johnny Crow.
He did tell me he went to Alabama, and he was the editor of the Corolla, the school yearbook.
Yeah.
At Alabama.
That's a pretty big position. Yeah. And,
but he's writing memoirs about growing up in Troy in the South and integration. And I told him, I said, well, you need to come back to Troy. It's changed, and especially the college.
I should know that, and that's just going to show you where my memory is going, I tell you.
Well,
so where did your friend Tommy Arrington that passed away, where did he live the rest
Well, all right, Tommy Arrington grew up on Murphy Street, he and his family, well known and family in Troy, and he actually went to Troy, the school, and he was a good football player, I'll tell you that. He was hard-nosed. He and of course, so was Mantle, and so was Al Head. Everybody remembers the great Al Head, and John Klutz was his other best friend, and John was not from Troy. But he played for Coach Sadler, and he hit with his head, Mike. He hit with his head like I did, and I'm sure
he's a part of that concussion protocol.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. Let me tell you this: I hit with my head too. And, we're suffering for it today.
We're on our things to talk about list that Forrest gives us is Tim Tebow signing a 1-year contract to play for the Jacksonville Jaguars as a tight end. And I was thinking about that. Tebow's going to be 34 years old, and he had some concussion issues at Florida as a quarterback, but he's getting ready to be a tight end, blocking big old defensive ends and linebackers.
Yeah.
I wonder if he can hold up.
You know what? He'll bring.
Let's be honest. This is Urban Meyer showing just tremendous loyalty to a guy that won 2 national championships for him. The likelihood of him at 33, 34 coming to NFL tight end, I don't think it's going to happen.
I tell you what, he'll be a very athletic.
Doesn't mean he's going to make an opening day roster. I don't think he'll make
I tell you what, he'll be a very athletic tight end. I tell you,
but how athletic is he going to be at 34?
I know it will.
They say he's in the best shape of his life. He's a workout fiend, so he has that going for him. And then I think they're using him as a wildcat quarterback on 3rd down and short, 4th down and short.
I mean, if this was 5 years ago, I could see it. Man, I don't see it happening in 34. But maybe so.
Let's just say this: best friends. This is the topic of the day. That guy you were looking for was Byron Jones.
Thank you.
Byron Jones, and he was he graduated I graduated in 65. He graduated in 62. But
that's true, because he was a senior when the Galt Youngblood incident happened. He had almost graduated from high school because he went to the pool hall, found his buddy, and told him, hey, there's this robber on the loose. And the police station was right around the corner from Quarles Pool Hall.
That's right.
I think where the Little Framery used to be. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, you're right. Sure was the jail.
So they had to walk probably 15 yards, and they listened to the whole event on the police radio.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But, back then, everybody had a bestest friend. I use this word, bestest friend. He is my bestest friend. Well, I had what I call bestest friend.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Jack Mosley, Sonny Williford, Richard Williford. These are our bestest friends now. Buck Corley, Robert Cole. And I had a bunch of bestest friends.
You had a good group of friends.
Jimmy Ray.
Jimmy Ray, one of my bestest friends, and still is today. Some of them are not as bestest as they used to be, but they're friends, good friends. But you know, all right. I lived in Troy, and I could name
Johnny Till was
Johnny Till. You're right. The late Johnny Till was one of my bestest friends, and that I could probably
I think everybody that grew up in Troy and had a happy experience is the same as you, Mike. We could name 8 or 9 or 10 people that you were just best friends, real close with.
And in fact, in today, you feel like that they're still your friends that you could count on, which is very important. And I think it's great, and it's great to actually have a community and live in a community that say, hey, he was one of my bestest.
Let me ask you this question that's always interested me. Were most of those people in your class, or were some of them a year older or a year younger?
Out of that class,
Richard
Williford was 2 years different than I was, and he was one of my very bestest friends. And Sonny, his first cousin, his first cousin was also my best friend.
I've thought about this, and I was the class of '83. Not many people from the class of '83 hung out with people from the class of '82, the year before us.
We did. No, the year I.
But we had a lot of friends in the class after us, the class of '84.
Yeah,
it's weird.
But and of course I could still say, I could still throw in Jackie Jackson and John Key and Paul Key and those guys I used to run around with quite a bit.
Well, I think of classes. Like I saw Donna Andrus Stevens at church. She's married to Wendell.
Yeah.
And
beautiful girl.
She was the class ahead of me, the class of '82. That was John Clark and Emory Ellis and Carly Green.
Yeah.
But our class, for some reason, we hung out with people in the class of '84 that was Kyle Ingalls and Wes Gaylord and Jim Williford and Eddie Barnett and Emily Green.
Let's see what we got here.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting pretty good at this, Rice.
Hello, you're on Today in L.A.
Hey, Bill, Will Matthews, what you up to?
Hey, Will, good to hear from you.
Did you have any bestest friends growing up, Will?
Did I have what now?
Did you have any bestest friends growing up?
He called them best friends. He called them bestest friends.
Yeah, they're your bestest friends. You had good friends and everything, but you had your bestest friends.
I bet he did. I bet you had a ton of them.
Yeah, Dr. Bill McLaughlin in Dothan is probably it.
Oh, really? Bless your heart, is it? Bless your heart. You didn't have but one bestest friend.
Well,
I'm sorry you lost your dog. I saw that on Facebook. How old was your dog?
20 years, 5 months.
God.
20 years, 5 months. That's like a family member, Will.
And he died of old age. Is that right?
She finally died. She's been blind and deaf for years.
Bless her heart.
20 years, 5 months. That might be the oldest dog I've ever even heard of.
That is a pretty old dog. You're right.
Yeah, we need to ask.
She was a Maltese.
Yeah.
I need to ask my friend Robert Hawkins. What's the oldest dog he's familiar with? How lived the longest?
Well, we saw Roy McIlroy win for the first time in 18 months. You think this is going to be McIlroy's year now? You think he's going to win a couple majors?
Michael, he gets streaky, and when he gets streaky, you better look out.
Yeah, that's
and they got the PGA at Kill Island at the end of the month. The last time it was there, he won by 8 strokes, which is a record.
Yeah, I was looking at your cousin, Doug Barron. He was high up there, had a chance at a senior major for a while.
He had a terrible back
faded a little bit.
He faded on Sunday. He was 5 over on Sunday.
Well, the guy that faded on Sunday was the Tuscaloosa native, Dickie Pride, was at 11 under, and he was tied for third, had a chance to win the tournament, and I think he shot +5 on Sunday.
Now, you know Dickie Pride real well, don't you?
I knew his daddy rented me an apartment when I went to law school in Alabama, and I couldn't find one.
Yeah. But I knew he was from Tuscaloosa.
Isn't his daddy a real big developer or something in Tuscaloosa?
He owned a lot of kind of junky apartment houses.
Well,
Pride, I stayed Pride's Motor Court for a semester.
all right. Now his dad, was he a good golfer too?
He was a very good golfer. Yes.
That's what I thought. He was and then this Dickie is a young Dickie Pride, isn't it?
Yeah, he won a PGA tournament in Memphis. He won 1 or 2 tournaments, I think.
He played golf at Alabama, didn't he?
Now, Dick Pride won the United States Senior Amateur, which is a big deal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was a great golfer.
Talking about his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Dickie Pride won twice, I think, on the PGA Tour. I know he won on the Corn Ferry Tour, too, and ended up getting his card to play on the PGA Tour when he was about 44 again.
Yeah, he played in Alabama.
But his dad does not play anymore, though. This is his son that plays now.
I think his dad.
You know, Duffner beat him. Jason Duffner beat him about 4 or 5 years ago by 1 stroke at Colonial, I think.
Who was that other golfer from Alabama that had a good run? Steve, somebody, kind of
Jason Bone. Jason Bone had a pretty good run.
Kind of heavy set guy.
Steve Lowry.
Steve Lowry.
Yeah. He was good out of Birmingham.
He won Pebble Beach when he was about 47 years old.
He's a pretty good guy, for no question.
You know what I remember about him? In one round, he had a hole-in-one and a double eagle on back-to-back holes.
Whoa,
I think.
That was something.
And he lost the tournament. It was this Stapleford scoring system tournament out in Colorado. And
the International is what they called it.
yeah, he was finished second, but I think I'm right that he had a hole-in-one and followed it up with a double eagle. I mean, nobody's probably ever done that before. Same round.
And the guy that beat him was Rich Beam.
Yep.
So he comes to 18, and Beam's already finished. And if he birdies 18, he wins the tournament. He hits it about 6 feet from the hole and then misses the putt.
We ought to look back and think of golfers that are no longer in the headlines.
But Steve Lowry, it seems like you would hear more from him on the senior tour, but you don't. He
was awful on the senior tour. He was finishing last every week. I don't think he plays anymore.
He lost his game. It happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing about golf. I mean, if you're a good athlete, you can play, especially a baseball or basketball player, 10, 15 years. But golf, man, you one day you're high in top 10, top 50. The next year, you can't make a cut.
They're going to one day have a over 65 league. Wouldn't that be that would be fun, wouldn't it? Bring back Nicholas and all them.
They've been threatening that. Nicholas is 81 years old.
Is he really? And it probably still.
Trevino is like 82, and Gary Player is like 85.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe. Like Fred Couples, I think, is like 62 now.
Is Dr. Middlecoff still living?
No, he's been dead for years.
Plus, you're going to say Dr. Gil Morgan.
Yeah, Dr. Gil Morgan.
I bet you Gary Player can still play. He is the most conditioned old person I know of.
He's one golfer that had a chip on his shoulder for a long time because of Nicholas and
Palmer.
And Palmer, yeah.
Well, he was third behind them. If that was the big three, he was number 3.
What else has been going on with you, my friend?
Well, I've got my son and his 3 babies under 3. He's got 3 under 3.
I mean, that boy really went out after it, didn't he?
And then now he's gone to the beach, and I'm following him Wednesday after court.
Are they going to stay at the Yellow House?
Oh, yeah.
You mean I could actually go by and honk my horn and somebody will come out? It's sort of like a celebrity at the Yellow House.
Please do. Come by and go down there.
Yeah. Well,
it's gonna be pretty. It's gonna be pretty over the weekend.
And I'm joking, but 3 kids in how many years?
Under 3.
This might be a record. Yeah.
I don't think I want to go.
Does he have anybody out of diapers yet?
No, All three of them are in diapers.
You know,
2 1/2, 1 1/2, and a half.
You know, I can visualize a lot of people holding a baby, but not you, my friend.
Will, you hold the babies, don't you?
No, holding the baby. I just can't see Will holding the baby, huh?
The little one I feed.
How many kids? How many kids does Warren have?
2.
2.
Yeah, they're grown up.
I'll tell you what, I have a 4 and 3-year-old, and that's enough for me. I don't know how anybody does more than 2.
Especially after the weekend we had, man. I tell you, we had a shipwreck. I tell you.
You know, one thing.
We had them falling off chairs at our Mother's Day lunch.
That's right.
I don't read many stories full, but I read the headlines, and one I read that caught my attention that says that birth rates in America are really down, and so people are having fewer children than they used to in the past.
You know, everybody talks about Trout being one of the great baseball players in America.
Mm-hmm.
You just look at these headlines of these.
Is he in all of them?
Oh God, every one of them. He is.
Yeah,
he leads the league in almost every.
Some people are overrated. He is not one of them.
He
is underrated. And he does it every year.
He is right here, bases on balls. He's one of the leaders in bases on balls. They put him on. They don't want to pitch to him, don't you think?
We were talking earlier. Tim Tebow signed with Jacksonville Jaguars. We don't know if Urban Meyer's is doing him a favor, or it's like a realistic chance he'll be a tight end in the NFL at 34 years old. What do you think? You think he'll make it or he'll get cut?
No, I don't think he'll even make the team. I don't.
Yeah, I said the same thing.
Well, it's 50 and a half.
He's not. No. And this is the problem, Michael. In the NFL, you only have 45 players on the team. College, you have like 90. So in the NFL, if you're a reserve player, which he'd probably be, you have to play special teams. And I can't see him running down punts and kickoffs. I just can't see that.
That's true. But you know, he could be the Wildcat quarterback. They're talking about him being the protector on the punting team. So that'd be one special teams. I bet he's got to be able to catch the ball. You know.
They got Trevor Lawrence. There's not going to be anybody behind that center except him this year.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence can run it too, can he?
Oh, he can run. He's a great runner.
Yeah, the backup's Gardner Minshew, who played at Washington State, broke all the passing records. So I mean, it's not like they don't have a bad backup either.
Yeah. Played at Troy for how long, Michael? Tell us.
He went through spring training at Troy, and then him and his dad decided they didn't think he could beat out Brandon Silvers. So he left and went to went back to junior college and then to East Carolina. From East Carolina, he originally committed to Alabama to be their 4th or 5th string quarterback, and then he ended up going to Washington State, setting all those records.
He's a great story.
You know, it's a chance that he could have been on the same roster as Tua, Jalen Hurts, and Mac Jones, all 4 of those quarterbacks.
You know, they had another one that transferred that's the starting quarterback at Arkansas State now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's incredible.
Right. He came in and threw for 400 yards against Troy.
Who was that?
Arkansas State quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
He was kind of an afterthought signee at Alabama. Alabama needed a quarterback, and they got one at the last minute, this kid. And I think he got 1 snap in 1 Heyday game, so he was probably 4th or 5th string. Can't blame him for transferring, but it turns out he's a good quarterback. Could have played.
They're already talking about the 2023 football recruiting class. The top prospect in 2023 is Arch Manning.
All right.
Really? Is he supposed to be the guru?
Well, I mean, that's Cooper's son.
I'll guarantee you I know where he's going.
Where?
Ole Miss. Ole Miss. Play for Kiffin.
Ole Miss, yes.
Yeah, see, we were talking about football schedules yesterday. I think Ole Miss, if they have any kind of defense, will win 9 or 10 games next year with Corral back at quarterback.
Yeah.
They're going to have a good team.
Of course, this show is brought to you by Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass right here in Troy, and they've got a super sale going on, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, Jason Gregory and his gang, I promise you, will beat anybody's deal. They'll beat anybody's deal.
You know, talking about Lane Tiffin, he did more for Alabama than be a pretty good offensive coordinator. He was really the quarterback that got Alabama on Mac Jones. So what if he hadn't done that? And then I was just reading a long article about Najee Harris, and Tiffin was one of the main people that recruited Najee Harris too. So he was instrumental in getting 2 future All-Americans and first-round picks to come to Alabama.
You know, when Najee got drafted, they had his draft party at the homeless shelter his family used to live in. It's an amazing story about Najee Harris.
I didn't know any of this about him until recently. Yeah, he was moving all the time, and sometimes was homeless. And
Josh Jacobs went through the same thing in high school in Tulsa, Oklahoma. His family was homeless and lived in a minivan. It's amazing some of the stories of these kids.
Well, Michael, I may be wrong, but I think Najee Harris is going to be a big star.
I do too. What pick was he, Mike?
24.
Hey, that was a steal. They got the people that got him got a steal.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's got another running back named Harris.
45 in the second round.
Yeah,
Yeah. Derrick Henry went in the 4th round. So,
second round, he was number 45 pick overall.
Heisman Trophy winner, too.
It's amazing. You're right. You reckon old Trout would be as good a football player as he is a baseball player?
No.
Out of all these leaderships in baseball, he had 7 of them. He was 7 out of
How many home runs does he have?
Let's see, he's got 8 home runs already.
How many RBI does he have?
He's got, let's see how many RBIs, Trout. Now that's one that he doesn't lead in. He leads in slugging percentage, 713. Leads in on base percentage. He leads in hits, one of the leaders in hits, and he leads in total bases.
What about batting average? He must lead.
He leads in batting 377. He leads the league.
377.
Both leagues in batting.
Who had the highest batting average for a season after Ted Williams? Was it Rod Carew or George Brett? Rod Carew.
I know they were both
flirted with 400.
Yeah, that's right. Especially, let's see.
I remember George Brett and Rod Carew.
Led.
They were both in the conversation for maybe hitting 400 for the year.
Yeah.
I need to mention over the weekend, the great DeMarcus Ware went to the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame. But next year, DeMarcus Ware, a lot of people think will be a first ballot NFL Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
So DeMarcus will be the first player in Troy history to be an NFL Hall of Famer.
I saw some people this weekend. I saw some people that went up there this weekend. They said it was a real impressive gathering, and I feel bad. I was going through a few things I couldn't get away and go see it. But it was wonderful though to see him come to Troy and do what he did.
Yeah, they had DeMarcus Ware Day.
Yeah.
He's a
big fitness trainer, has a workout app, so he joined Troy University in a partnership that all students, faculty, staff can have his app to do personal training, exercise classes. He's all about getting people in shape, getting people healthy. So he's doing a lot of good things, and they say in Dallas, where he played for so many years, his jerseys still one of the top selling jerseys in Dallas.
Yeah, oh yeah. They loved him. He's a great guy, great man, great football football player.
And he lived up.
And he shut it down after 12 years, so his health's not going to be hopefully an issue later in life.
I know it.
Like some are.
You know, he could have played a few more years, couldn't he?
Oh, no doubt. He could have broke maybe some sack records.
Yeah. You know, and you talk to him. He's not a real physical type guy. You know, he's not rough enough. He could walk up to anybody, a little baby or a grown or lady, and he's just a wonderful guy. Great
Talk
guy.
about him as a college player. You must have watched him, wasn't he? He was just awesome in college.
I watched him probably as much as anybody, and he was
unblockable, pretty much.
But yeah, he was. And
Hey, can y'all believe Aaron Rodgers is going to retire if they don't trade him?
oh gosh.
Oh yeah.
Of course, where do y'all stand there?
Bill Rice said he's going to retire and be the host of Jeopardy.
Yeah,
he's been offered $17 million a year to do Jeopardy.
that's pretty good, isn't it?
Has he really been offered that?
Yep, $17 million. He's been offered to do Jeopardy.
As long as his brain's there, he could do it a long time, couldn't he?
Yep. Well, Alex Trebek was 80 years old when he ended up doing it.
Yeah.
You know, I wish I would have seen him.
Yeah.
He guest hosted for a week. They've been trying out all these celebrities, and I heard he did really well and took it very seriously, obviously, and still taking it seriously.
You know,
why don't we do a Troy Cable Jeopardy show one day? We'll have Bill Rice, we'll bring Will up.
Right, yeah, that's right.
We'll have another guest and somebody ask Jeopardy questions.
Yeah.
I'm not good at it because my recall is not good. The answers are always on the tip of my tongue, but I can't pull them out. If it was a multiple choice quiz show, I would do much better.
At one time, I would put myself in there with the categories being Major League Baseball from 1955 to 1965.
You would run the table.
I think I could. I think I could give anybody a good shot.
Who was the second president after George Washington?
What? Second president after George Washington
Is Thomas Jefferson?
John Adams.
Yeah, I don't know.
Thomas Jefferson.
John Adams.
No, it was John. It was Washington, Adams, and Jefferson, and then Monroe and Madison.
That's why I said who was the second president after Washington.
Yeah. And ask me something about 55 to 65 baseball. I believe I can get it.
Who was the winning pitcher?
Who?
Let's see. Who was the leading home run hitter in 1960?
How many Super Bowl teams was Mickey Mantle? I mean, how many World Series did Mickey Mantle's Yankees teams win?
Oh gosh, no, I'm talking about just individuals. Give me individuals and positions they played, whatever.
Well, what was the starting lineup when Mickey Mantle's heyday of the Yankees?
At first base would be Bill Skyron. At second base would be Bobby Richardson. At shortstop would be Tony Kubek. And at third base would be Clete Boyer. The catcher would be Yogi Berra. The right fielder would be Hank Bauer. The center fielder would be Mickey Mantle. And the left fielder would be, wait a minute, oh gosh, would be, I should get it, but I can't.
Name one starting pitcher from that roster.
The starting pitcher would be Ryan Dewan or Bob Turley, Whitey Ford.
Well, you got eight out of 9 for sure. That left fielder will come to you.
I'll tell you who that is in a minute. Oh boy.
I could maybe name most of the starting lineup of the Big Red Machine, the Cincinnati Reds.
But that's easy to me. I don't know why to do that, but I can't do.
You can't think of it.
I can't think of my name half the time.
Isn't that funny? Well, I'm the same way.
Hector Lopez. Give me Hector Lopez in left field. That'll do it. I knew I'd get you to come to me.
We got an echo.
Gil McDougall, some other players on that in that area was Gil McDougall.
Is somebody on the speakerphone?
Will, we got an echo on your end. You know what's causing it?
Will ordering a hamburger?
I don't know.
Okay.
Hey, guys, listen to this. This is the 1960 Major League Baseball home run leaders. The most home runs hit in 1960, number one was Ernie Banks with 41 home runs.
Yeah, the number 44. He played shortstop for the Cubs. Yeah.
But listen to this lineup, the 1960 home run leaders. So Ernie Banks had 41. Hank Aaron had 40. Mickey Mantle was third with 40. Eddie Matthews had 39. Roger Maris had 39. Jim Lennon had 38.
Played with the Washington Senators.
Rocky Calabito had 35.
Detroit Tigers and Cleveland Indians.
Number 8 was Ken Boyer. He had 32 home runs.
And Ken Boyer played for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Harmon Killebrew had 31.
Killebrew played with the Washington Senators. He was a great slugger.
Frank Robinson had 31.
Baltimore Orioles and Cincinnati Reds.
Ted Williams had 29.
Boston Red Sox, the splendid splinter, perhaps the greatest hitter
In
of all time.
1960, Ted Williams had 29 home runs.
That's right.
Gosh, he broke into the major leagues in 1939, I think. So he was 20 years into his career. And
You said this was 1960.
Yeah, Willie Mays had 29 when he was number 12 in 1960.
Boy, he's a great player. Who remembers the home run?
And then after that, you had Roy Fibers had 28. Bill Scoron had 26. Joe Adcock had 25.
Adcock played first base for the Milwaukee Braves. Yeah.
Orlando Cepeda had 24. Charlie Maxwell had 24. Frank Howard had 23. Dick Stewart had 23.
Yeah.
These are all the home run leaders in 1960. Some amazing names, to say the least.
You know, as you went down that list, I could actually see that person's name, picture in a baseball card. I could see them. As you went all the way down, I could still see those pictures in the baseball card.
Look up, what was Ted Williams' career? What years did it span? It had to, I'm going to say he had to play from 39, and we know he played in 60 because he was hitting 29 home.
But you know,
that's pretty creepy. The first, when you type in Ted on Google, you would think Ted Williams' name would pop up first, and instead Ted Bundy pops up first.
Oh gosh, oh me.
Isn't that creepy?
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, hey, that'd be sort of fun to go to a man's name and see how many of them you can think of. Yeah.
Yeah, Ted Williams was 6'4". I didn't realize he was that tall.
He was tall. Yeah, and
he was a fighter pilot.
In World War either in World War II or in the
Korean War.
Both,
in both of them.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing, Bill. His last year was 1960, and he still hit 29 homers.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, he went from his era spans he was a contemporary of Joe DiMaggio. And
of course,
Joe DiMaggio wasn't still playing in 1960.
And what we're talking about is Ted Williams was the last man to hit 400, and that looks like that's almost unbeatable.
What's the more impressive feat? Him hitting 406 or Joe DiMaggio hitting consecutively for what, 56 games or 52?
Right, yeah. Consecutively in 56
or 50?
Yeah, 56. Yeah.
Yeah, so he played for the Red Sox from 39 to 42, and then he went to war from 42 to 45.
He was in World War II. He was a pilot in World War II. Yeah.
Came back and played from 1946 to 1960. He was a 19-time All-Star, 2-time AL MVP. He won the Triple Crown in 42 and 47, 6-time batting champion, home run leader for 4 years. He ended up being a manager too. I didn't realize that. He managed the Washington Senators, Texas Rangers from 69 to 72.
He was there were two guys that were sort of ego guys. One of them was Ted Williams, and the other one was Bob Feller. They were real ego type guys. Of course, Bob Feller could do what, Mike? He threw a ball 100 miles an hour when he was in 1955. Threw it 100 miles an hour.
So rare. But if you ever watch games now, Dad, I know you don't watch Major League Baseball, but any reliever you see now throws between 95
Oh
to
yeah.
100. Most of them throw 98.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You nowadays, if you don't throw 90 miles an hour, you don't, you can't play. You know.
Oh, yeah, you got to
95. Yeah.
Even play these days.
Yeah. The Yankees had a relief pitcher named Ryan Duran, and he couldn't see very good. He wore sunglasses, all the time, and he couldn't see real good. Sometimes he might throw it over the catcher, over the backstop, whatever. But people are afraid to bat against him. He threw almost 100 miles an hour, and he got in there, and he didn't know where it was going, and he was a great relief pitcher, but he didn't know where the ball was going, and people were just scared to death. Some batters did not want to get up against it because they're afraid he'd hit them.
Yeah, that can help a pitcher,
yeah. Tell you some sad stories that happened to people like that. Herb Score was a great pitcher for the Cleveland Indians, and against Gil McDougall of the Yankees one night, Gil McDougall hit a line drive that hit Herb Score in the eye, and he never really played again.
Yeah, I'm surprised more people haven't been killed in baseball.
He would have been one of the great strikeout pitchers of all time.
Because that ball is going so fast. I'm surprised more fans in the bleachers haven't been killed by screaming line drives into the bleachers.
You're exactly right. It's amazing that more people have not been hurt.
Now they have better netting. I remember there was a minor league player a couple years ago that was coaching first base that got hit by a line drive and it killed him.
Here's another guy with the Red Sox that would have been Tony Canigliaro. You ever heard of that name? Tony Canigliaro. His career ended with a line drive hit him in the eye. Of course, those.
Who was the guy Pete Rose split into?
That was
Ray Fosse.
Yeah, Ray Fosse. That's smart, Mike. Golly, how'd you know that? You got a computer or what?
When I started talking about it, for some reason the name popped in my head.
You're right. Ray Fosse had burned his career. He hardly ever played again, Mike.
You get back to Ted Williams. If he hadn't lost, I think he lost some seasons, at least one season in the Korean War too. So he doesn't lose those seasons. His career numbers are amazing.
It would have been unreal. You're right. He would have broke them all.
Especially in World War II, he was in the prime of his game.
The sad thing about Ray Fosse getting run over by Pete Rose, it was an all-star game. The game didn't mean anything, and he goes in, and Rose goes in and wants to take the guy out, And that's the kind of guy Rose was. He didn't care who he was or when he was, And,
it makes you wonder when you think about Major League Baseball. Will Rose ever go in? Will Clemens? And Barry Bonds, Alex Rodriguez, Mark McGuire, all these great players. Will they never make the Hall of Fame?
Sammy Sosa?
Sammy Sosa, yeah.
I guess that's the precedent that if you use steroids, they're keeping you out.
Let's do a little trivia off my head. All right, who was what was Minnie Minoso known for?
Batting 200.
Getting hit by a pitch.
Boy, you're smart. Golly, where'd you learn how to get hit by a pitch? Just an ordinary player.
I thought that was, what's the mimosa line? Isn't that him too, though, that if you bat under 200, they call it the mimosa line?
Yeah.
They call it the Mendoza.
All right, well, I was close.
Yeah. Who is a great double play combination of all time? A lot of people think from second base and shortstop. They were known as the Keystone Combo. You know who that is?
Mm.
If you even get one, you're gonna be.
Pee Wee Reese and
not quite. But you're close. Name one.
What position did Disney Dane
play shortstop? No, he played shortstop, and the other one played second base. And they were known as the Keystone Combo. And one of them was named Nellie, and the other was named
No, now you caught yourself.
Nellie Fox. You got it. You got one of them, Nellie Fox, and the other one was Aparicio. You ever heard of the great shortstop Luis Aparicio? That might have been too hard right there.
Who was the Reds shortstop forever? Was it Dave
Chico
Concepcion?
Yeah, Dave Concepcion.
And
yeah.
Joe Morgan, the second. Yeah. Joe Morgan was a great player.
That's right. That was a great combination.
And then you talk about Pete Rose. Pete Rose ended up playing about 4 or 5 positions in his career. I remember him as a third baseman, then he was a left fielder. I think he played first base. I think he played second base some.
And then when we go ahead.
What position did Pete Rose not play? I guess he didn't play center field, and
he was an outfielder too.
Or catcher or pitcher. He probably played the other 6.
He could have done it all.
Yeah, I'll never forget when I was in Vegas. I was walking through the hotel where we're staying, and there was like a sports memorabilia store, like a mall, kind of attached in between casinos, and he was just sitting there on a Saturday signing autographs. There was like maybe one person in line. So that's what they say he does now. He lives off Vegas and goes around different places throughout Vegas and signs autographs for like I think it's like $150 to get his autograph.
You know, you remember when we went went down to see spring training one time, and Pete Rose, they were just coming off a World Series win, and Pete Rose was what everybody was wanting his autograph and everything, and the other one, Mike. The other guy was really stealing the show.
The guy you talked to for the longest time was Mike Smith.
Yeah, I know, but also the guy that
that's when he was playing for when Monroe was playing for Philadelphia.
Yeah, and that was also the great pitcher that was the most valuable player of that World Series. Do you know? His son is a major league is a great singer, Mike.
Tug McGraw.
You're right.
Oh yeah.
Tug McGraw.
Yeah. Married to Faith
Hill. And I want to say Rhodes had sort of a chip on his show a little bit because people were not surrounding him. Everybody wanted Tug McGraw's autograph, but he was not the friendliest guy in the world. Pete Rose was not the friendliest guy in the world.
His private life is just a mess.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a weird guy, really.
He's a great player, though.
For a long time was Wade Boggs, because you were talking to him about
that's right.
deer hunting.
Sure did. He wanted to know about deer. We found out it was out from Alabama. He wanted to know about deer hunting. And he was a good hitter. He was another one of the good hitters.
Yeah, he used to come up to that deer hunting event in Montgomery, the Deer Masters or whatever they call it.
Buckmasters, wasn't it?
Buckmasters.
Yeah, that's right.
Wade
He sure
Boggs
did. Yeah, he sure did.
The great Jackie Bushman.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Hi, Sandy. I'm right here. Come on in.
Daddy, I'm right here. Hello, Miss Mary. I'm right here. I'm right here.
Since 1969, we've been right here because at Troy Regional Medical Center, we take these words to heart.
I'm right here. Thank you.
Remarkable people, remarkable care.
This is Barney at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, and I'm here to nip this sale in the bud.
Hello, folks. This is Greg Anthony, sales manager at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Troy, Alabama, offering discounts up to $15,000.
Let's nip that.
0% financing up to 72 months.
We gotta nip that.
Barney, $5,000 over Kelly Blue Book for your trade-in.
You're killing the competition.
Barney!
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
Got to know how
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa Know-How. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa Know-How team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
I want to say good morning, my good friend that over at the Dodge Chrysler Jeep dealership. Of course, Premier is a great award-winning commercials now, and of course with Don Knotts.
We chuckle every time we see that commercial.
It's fun. They've got to. If there's any awards for commercials, they've got it because they're really good.
Don't you think
Premier
that guy
Dodge
has
Chrysler
done
truck.
these all over America? He
Oh
is.
yeah, and for him to come to Troy, he really does a great job. Well,
that's one of the great characters of TV history. Yeah. Beloved characters is Barney Fife.
That's right.
If Barney's not on the Andy Griffith Show, I don't watch him. But if Barney's is he was only on the show for like 4 or 5 years, and the black and white ones, the first years. In the very first season, they talked about my cousin Barney. It was Andy's cousin Barney, but then they dropped that. Then the writers changed it where Barney was not Andy's cousin.
There was a lot of guys.
What about George Lindsay? Was he on?
He was good. I thought he was good at times.
It was. Well, before that was Gomer Pyle from Sylacauga, Alabama.
Yeah,
right?
That's right. That's where he's from. That's where
George Lindsay was from Florence. Lindsay and Wentz Anderson were good friends.
Yeah. And it was very few people. Andy Griffin was the star of that show, but his buddy stole the show most of the time. Did you think?
Yeah, Andy was kind of the straight man. He let other people get the laughs.
So now, when y'all were growing up, did y'all play Florence State, or were they UNA by then?
They were Florence State when we were growing up, and when you had Florence State, Livingston State, you had Jacksonville State, and Troy State. Those 4 schools, and then you had Alabama College.
I always liked UNA. I always thought that was a good name change there. I don't think Florence State would have made it for some reason.
And Jacksonville State, their problem is people don't know where it's located.
I think it's in Florida.
Well, there's Jacksonville University too.
I know. Yeah, I know. They get mixed up. They don't. That's probably where they think about it. They think about Florida when they look at Jacksonville State.
Yeah.
And it hurt them. They would have been better off going switching their name. But they're in Division II. Division I AA. They've done well.
I love Troy University. It has a ring to it.
I do too.
Troy is arguably one of the most famous ancient cities in the world in history. So you're lucky that your town and college are named after Troy.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, if you look at all the Division I football programs, I guess there's probably 131, 132, which of those programs are actually named after the city?
Yeah, that'd be a good trivia for you to.
Let's see.
We know you got Auburn, you got Troy, but there's 128 more teams.
We just need to get our football magazine, our Phil Steele magazine, and just go through it. And that's a good question. Off the top, you got Auburn and Clemson, not too bad. Troy, Memphis University, which used to be Memphis State.
One.
Houston University.
Yep, that's right.
Boise's pretty good.
Yeah, Boise.
Yep.
It'd be a big list.
Yeah.
Who is Purdue named for? Purdue University.
It's not a town though. It's not.
They're
in West Lafayette.
Must be some family.
Yeah. But you're right. That's Cincinnati, the University of Cincinnati.
Just do the Sun Belt. Is Troy the only team in the Sun Belt? Well, Louisiana Lafayette team, Louisiana. That's the name of the town.
But now they go by Louisiana now, so we're not.
You know what? That was one of the smartest moves for them because they had Louisiana Mount Lafayette, Louisiana Monroe, Louisiana.
There was another one, wasn't there?
Yeah, and of course the Louisiana Lafayette is now called Louisiana, the University of Louisiana. So that makes a lot more sense. You know, University of Alabama, University of Louisiana.
You know, I think about colleges. Who owns the state, or pretty much has the state to themselves? LSU has that state to themselves. I mean, their only competition is Tulane.
Oh, yeah. And,
Georgia has the state of Georgia pretty much to themselves. I know you got Georgia Tech, but they're not a serious recruiting rival of Georgia. Alabama and Auburn, they share the state. I mean, it's equal fan bases, roughly. So it's amazing that Alabama and Auburn have been as good as they've been for as long as they've been when they're kind of splitting the pie in a small state to boot.
Okay,
Tennessee's a weird state because Tennessee's all the way in Knoxville on the eastern side, and then Vanderbilt's in the middle, and then Memphis is on the western side of the state. So Tennessee's kind of split, probably.
But Tennessee should get anybody they want in the state of Tennessee. They own that state. South Carolina and Clemson, they split it. I mean, that's another one like Alabama and Auburn.
Okay, we got the SEC. The Jaguars are they going to have a big party outside the stadium for Tebow? What?
Let me ask you this, Mike.
No, there's going to be no fanfare around that. I don't
think it will.
How was it that Florida had no great football program forever? I mean,
That's
Florida
right.
did not become a consistently good football team until Charlie Pell became the coach.
They had Ray Graves, and they couldn't win with Ray Graves.
They won a little with Spurrier, but Florida State was a girls' school. They weren't any good. Miami wasn't any good. The University of Florida wasn't any good. And it's one of the most populated states in the Sun Belt. Isn't it bizarre in retrospect that it took so long for Florida to produce great football?
But I mean, back then, Florida's like 22 million people then. But I mean now. But I mean, back then, Florida's probably what 8, 9, 10 million then.
It's still a lot bigger than
bigger over the years.
Yeah, it was still a lot bigger than Alabama and Georgia and Mississippi and Tennessee.
Let's take a look at these baseball games coming up. One big, huge game is GW Long at Arrington, and the winner will move on to play Mars Hill, the Mars Hill Bible and Westbrook Christian. So this is the biggest game in South Alabama. The great GW Long against Arrington.
Well, I'm looking at the Sun Belt tournament. We've got Coastal Carolina, ULM, we just talked about Georgia Southern, the directional school, Georgia State, Louisiana, South Alabama, App State, Troy, Texas Arlington, which is a huge school, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Arlington, Texas is a big and then Texas State. Where's Texas State, Mike?
Texas State is a huge school. It's got 36,000 students.
San Marcos.
Yeah, San Marcos, and been there a long time. Let's look at some of this local. Now, Pike Liberal Arts.
Let's talk a little. We better talk about that.
This weekend, and what is that?
No, they play tomorrow, though.
I mean tomorrow, yeah. I said
against
tomorrow,
Bessemer, and Billy Hickson gave us a good scouting report. Let's see if I can remember.
Well, he's got
Pike Liberal Arts has played Bessemer 3 times. They lost the first game and have won the last 2 pretty easily. Bessemer beat Glenwood, who is a baseball dynasty. In the second game, they beat them 15-0, so that tells you something right there.
Yeah,
and Bessemer also has a pitcher that is committed to the University of Alabama.
Oh, really? Okay.
So Pike Liberal Arts has the pitcher Nelson that's going to Auburn. Bessemer has a pitcher that's going to an SEC school. So it's going to be a formidable opponent tomorrow.
I mean, I'm not a coach, but man, it's got to be hard to sit Nelson until that second game. I mean,
Yeah,
that
you're
puts
right.
a tremendous amount of pressure on those young players. I mean, I know these guys are experienced and won a lot of state championships, but man, you go down 0-1, and you're forced to win that second game. That's a lot of pressure.
But think about, let's say Bessemer will start the kid that's going to Alabama. So they start him, Pike LeBlanc starts Nelson. You got no sure thing you're going to win with Nelson. I mean, that pitcher can shut out Pike LeBlanc just like Nelson can shut them out. So
I would think that it'll boil down to who's going to be the starter for Pike, and that will probably be.
I think Devon Christian's been starting a lot of games, and then Press
Press Jeffco is also a very good pitcher.
And then you always could go to the Stallworth kid, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you
come in.
the third game they would use him.
And I would imagine that the shortstop, the guy that's the kid that is May's kid that's going to Florida State, I bet you he can pitch.
You know, you would think so.
You know he's got to have a cannon for
I know, yeah.
But I haven't heard of him pitching much. But yeah, you would think that, especially as a football quarterback, he could chunk it.
Well, they always say it all boils down to pitching. There's no question. I think that Pike's got a pitching is plus in the pitching. They've got 6 or 8 kids that can pitch, and that is a lot.
Yeah, that's what made Charles Henderson so good under Irons. It's late games. They could come in with Austin Ingram to close.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Boy, you know, people didn't realize how good Austin Ingram was as a pitcher in baseball. You know, Austin Ingram, as far as a quarterback and a pitcher, Austin Ingram is probably would have to be considered as the best athlete ever come out of Troy. He was really good.
Well, actually, the best athlete was John Johnson. He played basketball.
Yeah, he was really good. Yeah, he was really good.
Wow, I didn't know that. He played all 3 of them, huh?
Yeah, but Austin Ingram was good.
Started point guard on the basketball team.
Yeah, he was. Sure was. But
that's rare.
Boy, we lost him too early in life. That's still a sad story.
Who is that, Mike?
Losing John Johnson.
Oh yeah, no question about it. He was a fine young man and a great athlete. It tickled me if somebody would come up.
All those games.
Yeah, I think Troy University ought to think about making, doing a something to honor him. He's really got great.
I'm thinking of Charles Henderson, athletes that played all 3 sports. I can name a lot of them that played 2 and were good at 2, but it's really hard to come up with some that played all 3.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
So what we've got to really look forward to is
when are you and Rice going to get up with somebody at Charles Henderson High School and do a Charles Henderson Hall of Fame? I don't even think Charles Henderson even has one, do they?
I don't believe they do. I know they don't. No, they don't. And it would be something good. It really would.
That'd be something to get a lot of old, lettermen to come back, old, Troy people to honor them.
Would you do it with Charles Henderson, or would you do it for the town, or would you do it for the county?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if you could do it for the county because you'd have so many Pike County guys in football.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get some I'm trying to get Fred Baxter and Cornelius Griffin in there.
Charles Henderson Hall of Fame would be good just to start that way at least.
Oh yeah. Mike, I noticed that Mobile, the Mobile Christian in Class 4A has a 32-4 record, and that's playing in the Mobile area. That is unreal.
That's good.
They must be really good. And
Tommy Watson was the athletic director there before he left and went to Faulkner. And then Ronnie Cottrell's the head football coach. Ronnie's probably the athletic director now, I would guess.
American Christian is playing them. They're 30.
Mobile Christian used to be an AISA
That's right,
school.
Sure did. Both of them did. And in 6A, Mike, you got Auburn 32-6 or 7A, and Phoenix City 32-6. Boy, that's gonna be a great game.
Yeah.
I tell you what we got to do. We got to reach out to Johnny Williams later today and get Roger Schultz's number.
Yeah.
Get Roger to call in and we'll talk about his son, and then just talk about whatever he wants to talk about.
Yeah, no, that'd be great.
He'd be a fun. He'd be a great guest to have on.
I'll check on that today. Of course, we hope you've enjoyed our show, and we bounce back here and there and here and there, but that's what it is. We've got as the local prognosticator says, we are a great laid-back television
It's
station.
train of thought. One train of thought leads to another.
That's right. And we hope that you can keep up with us, and we appreciate you very much. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hi, Sandy. I'm right here. Come on in.
Eddie, I'm right here.